Hey guys, it's Stephen Chun, your event director, host, and MC for the 10th annual Asians on Film Festival of Shorts. We're so excited to have you on this interview, and we're joined here by the cast, Flat Echo. Wave hi to everybody.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
And I would like to talk with Bruce, our director here. Bruce, tell us about the film.
Yeah, so Flat Echo, the story is about a wife of an old pianist struggles to let go of her husband who suffers from a late stage Alzheimer's. So it's a drama shorts about family and a little bit romance. Yes.
Now, what inspired you to make this film? It shows us the life of a loving wife whose husband is suffering from the late stages of Alzheimer's. But what was your motivation behind making this film, Bruce?
Yeah, so I picked this script because I have a friend who in my age but just lost his dad on 2017, and he shared his story with me that he needed to spend a lot of money on the medical expenses, but at the same time, he really want to bring his dad back, but since his dad is in a very late stage cancer, so it's getting worse. So he's in that dilemma and struggles to let go. So when he shared this story with me, I have this I really resonated with him. And then when this film it's a school project from USC School of Cinematic Arts. When I read this script, I really want to make this film happen and talk about how the experience of letting go, and to express sometimes letting go is not a bad thing because we might get more from this. Yeah.
Thank you. That's it's not what I expected of why, but it shows that true stories are sometimes some of your best work. So thank you for that. I want to go to our producers, Letia and Youngjin. So thank you for joining, and it's rare that we have producers joining, and we're so thankful that you're here. So this is for both of you. Did you market this more as a drama or as a romance? And with that, neither of you can answer. What challenges did you encounter?
Yeah, so I would say as a whole, I think more so we did market more as a drama because those tones are are definitely stronger within the piece. And for challenges, I mean, we had quite a few. For one, the film flashes back to an earlier time in the young couple's life. So we had to find a location that was large enough where we had a dining room table. We had the area that is big enough for a piano. We had to get a piano, a Steinway at that. So we had to go with the best of the best. And just, again, find a location that could allow all of those different transitions for us. And the way that Bruce wanted to shoot it, it was very dynamic. And he used Steadicam, so we needed room to be able to move around the table. So I think with those considerations, we definitely had to reach out and be creative and amazing. At the same time, Grace moved into a Catholic center, I want to say a convent. And yes, and they had an area that used to be a chapel, but it was kind of gutted out and they were remodeling it at that specific time. Yes, and so and we just happened to have the opportunity to be able to shoot, and they believed in our project. They believed in Bruce and Grace, and we were able to shoot.
So Youngjin, also Grace, what would you like to add on to that? She mentioned about scout location being one of the challenges.
In terms of marketing, I think it was drama, but we also wanted to enter it to as many Asian American film festivals as possible because it's an Asian story, and we have a really diverse cast and crew. I mean, just on the screen we have diversity. So that part was really fun. Yeah, I think there were challenges, but we got really lucky with a lot of them. Like Tia mentioned, finding a location was a total luck. I happened to live next to a Catholic convent who was open to letting us shoot there. And I guess the biggest challenge was just trying to make everything happen within allocated budget, which was set by USC. So we had to get creative, but yeah.
And also too casting, since our
Oh,
lead
yes.
had to play the piano,
Yeah.
and we had to match the younger
Yeah.
version and the more mature version of each character as well.
That's
so we
right.
went through so much mixing and matching, and we were just so blessed.
Wow, that's
So
Yeah.
blessed to come across these beautiful faces on the screen, and they're all extremely talented, and they just blew us away when they came in, and we were just like,
Yes.
oh, we have it, we have the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the match, like people really like, you know, some people ask me like, oh, like is Grace like the makeup version of Hannah, or you know, like they feel like they both looks alike.
They
So
sure
I
do.
think we are so lucky. Yeah, we feel so lucky to find them, and to match the faces is really hard. And also the Eddie and the Mark, like their face is also a little bit like,
I know.
It's alike. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are pretty lucky about that. Mm-hmm.
If I didn't know Hannah from previous Asians on films and also being part of Asian cinema entertainment, I really would have thought it was the same actress. So great job, producers. So speaking of Grace, I'd like to go into the center square and the center of Flat Echo, but it is a whole cast effort. But she is nominated Best Actress. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Grace, how did you get into the character? Because you're not a sad person. You're a very kind and sweet person, but it was a very kind of melancholy role that you had to portray.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just gravitate to these characters where there's so much emotion and depth and hardship and overcoming situations. I love that. But getting into the character, I do a lot of imagination work where I sit and just imagine everything of the character's life. Like how I met Richard and our courtship and our wedding, and how I just admire him and his artistry and his piano playing, because I am never going to be like him, and I just think he's the best, and the whole life of our relationship. And so I do a lot of imagination work to get into character. And also my father also went through Alzheimer's, dementia. And so I saw that aspect of it, where my mom had to make that decision. And it's really hard, because you're taking care of someone for so long, and you're getting to that point where you're kind of desperate and not being able to take care of your loved one. And it was really hard. And I remember when my dad was a little more with it, and he always said that, I don't want to go to a old folks home, and he always wanted to be at home, and I felt bad too, because I didn't have the means to help him or have a nurse or something, a full-time care at home. So it was a difficult time. So I pulled through my experience with that.
Absolutely.
And then
definitely.
Yeah.
Your
And then when
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yeah, we saw, you brought the talent, but you also brought your personal experience, and we did see that.
Oh, great. And then when you're on set, after you do all that work at home, I just kind of, before action gets called, I think the character thoughts of what's happening right now and what I want and everything. And then I just kind of throw myself in and be present and just react to what's going on. Yeah, so that's kind of what I do.
Thank you, Grace. So on that note, with portraying a character and keeping kind of in that really focused mindset, let's go to Dale, who plays Dr. Timmerman. Dale, you had a very kind of bearing bad news role. There was nothing happy about your lines and your character. Can you expand on how you did that?
Well, I loved what Grace said about the imagination work and, you know, coming from a place within. You know, when you bring a part of yourself to any role, it brings the authenticity with you. And, you know, I had two grandparents that had Alzheimer's. I've taken care of somebody who's been very sick and then eventually died. And so when you're the 24/7 caretaker, it's very hard to take time away. Like for me, it was like you know, oh, you're selfish if you go do anything for yourself, even though it's not, you know. So at least I needed permission from someone to go and take care of myself. So I brought all of that with me when I played the doctor, because, you know, sometimes we might feel like we know what's right. And so you want to help others along that path. And so, you know, seeing what Grace's character was going through, and I had been friends with him. I was his doctor for years. So it's like I had a relationship with them that has carried through the years. And I also recognize the fact that there's, you know, ethnic differences. And so you want to honor people where they come from. You don't want to stomp all over it. You don't want to be like, I'm right, you're wrong. You want to help them. So it's very, even though it was serious, it's very heartfelt, and you just want what's best for people. And so that's what I tried to bring. You know, I was trying to be helpful, however, in whatever way that looked like for them, you know, whether Grace needed permission to put her husband in a home.
We talked with over half the cast and crew, and it seems like this film touched each of you personally, and we're not even you're not even the audience. So I want to go to young Ruby. This is Hana, and there was a beautiful scene. Great camera work too, Bruce, by the way. But young Ruby is watching young Richard at one of his piano performances, and a spotlight's zoomed in on her. A few actors next to her, but they're not in the light. And your makeup is beautiful, your smile, your love for Richard, and just stand up and applause. That was such a touching moment, because we could really feel the love of when it all first started. So Hannah, my question for you, how was that like? How was that like playing a loving wife that you may not have known Alzheimer's would have developed later on in your relationship?
Right. It was great for me because, you know, Eddie and I got to play like the happier, lighter, lovey-dovey moments. And when we shot that scene, that was the last scene that we shot. So we had done all of the other scenes, you know, where they began and moving into this new house and, you know, the life that they lived up until the point where, wow, he has this performance of a lifetime. And he's worked so hard to be able to get to that point, and his talent is being recognized. And what was really interesting about shooting that scene was they first shot Eddie, you know, so at the piano, and Eddie doesn't play piano, so he's like going in there and like pretending to play, and it sounded like, and you can hear it because he had to like press the keys, so we're all like, yeah. And then, you know, then we kind of like swapped the camera, and even though it was like moving where, you know, you still saw him, and then you saw the reveal of Ruby. It wasn't, even after that, like it wasn't hard to get into it at all, because we had gone through, you know, some of those earlier scenes, and then they actually played the song, which was an original composition, you know, for this film. And, you know, you heard it, it's beautiful, it's incredibly moving. And so it was really easy to kind of just conjure up like those feelings of love and admiration. And we actually shot with like two different takes. Like Bruce was like, let's try like just oozing with love and admiration, and let's also try like, you know, having a little sense of like, yes, I was part of him being able to get to this point as a loving wife, also the sacrifices that I made, and being aware of that. But I really loved, you know, the take that they ended up using, because it just really sealed the story and just made it that much more moving.
So let's go to your better half and ask Eddie. He's cool, he's suave, he's romantic. I don't know how he is off camera, but how is that?
Yeah, it was just being himself.
He's pretty much like that all the time.
Cool. Right.
Yeah,
Casted.
I just had to be myself, really.
So
it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to work with the cast and crew. I think when I read for the role, I went in because I knew the writer. I had worked with her before, Christina. So that was kind of like, okay, yeah, let's go for it. And the auditioning process was really fun to work with Hana. And I had met Hana before as well. So I think that gave us a little extra kind of familiarity and just, you know, just like a little bit of extra comfort level because you are playing, you know, this loving relationship. So she made it really easy and just help me feel very comfortable playing the role. But yeah, it was just fun, you know. The role of Richard is someone who's passionate about a creative art form that he is very talented at, and so that's really easy as an actor to see the similarities and just, you know, kind of understand what that means to you as an artist and as a creative. And so it was you know, I didn't have to be very kind of just like yay, you know, we love each other type moments and romantic moments and stuff. It was just a lot of fun to do that.
Well, I'd like to thank the cast, crew, and the production staff here. This is Flat Echo, and Grace is nominated Best Actress. Thank you so much for joining. If you'd like to see this film, Flat Echo, you can check out our links in our bio for our 10th anniversary. Cast, thank you again.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.